On September 11, 2001, 19 militants associated with the Islamic extremist group Al Qaeda hijacked four airplanes and carried out suicide attacks against targets in the United States. Two of the planes were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. A third plane hit the Pentagon in Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C., and the fourth plane crashed into the field in Pennsylvania. Almost 3,000 people were killed during the 9/11 terrorist attacks, which targeted major US initiatives to combat terrorism and defined the presidency of George Bush. On September 11, 2001, at 8:45 a.m. on a clear Tuesday morning, an American airline Boeing 767 loaded with a 20,000 gallon of jet fuel crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. On September 11, these hijackers were Islamic terrorists from Saudi Arabia and several other Arab nations, reportedly financed by the Al Qaeda terrorist organization of Saudi fugitive Osama bin Laden. They were allegedly acting in retaliation for America's support of Israel, its involvement in the Persian Gulf War, and its continued military presence in the Middle East. Some of the terrorists had lived in the United States for more than a year and had taken flying license at American commercial flight schools. Others had slipped into the country in the months before September 11 and acted as a muscle in operation. A total of 2,996 people were killed in the 9/11 attacks, including the 19 terrorist hijackers aboard the four airplanes. Citizens of 78 countries died in New York, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania. At the World Trade Center, 2,763 died after the two planes slammed into the Twin Towers. That figure included 343 firefighters and paramedics, 23 New York City police officers, and 37 Port Authority police officers who were struggling to complete an evacuation of the buildings and save the office workers trapped in the higher floors. The 9/11 attacks had an immediate negative effect on the US economy. Many Wall Street institutions, including the New York Stock Exchange, were evacuated during the attacks. One of the first day of trading after the attacks, the market fell 7.1% or the 684 points. New York City economy alone lost 143,000 jobs a month and $2.8 billion wages on the first 3 months. The heaviest losses were in the finance and air transportation, which accounted for 60% of the loss in the jobs. The estimated cost of the World Trade Center damage is $60 billion. The cost to clean the debris on the ground zero was $750 millions. After all the September 11 attacks, the US government responded with immediate action, including rescue operation at the site of the World Trade Center and grounding civilian aircrafts, and long-term action including investigation, legislative changes, military action, and restoration projects. Investigations into the motivations and execution of the attacks led to the declaration of war on terrorism that led to the ongoing military engagements in Afghanistan and subsequently Iraq. Cleanup and restoration efforts led to the rebuilding of lower, and federal grants supported the development of the National September 11 Memorial and Museum. After a nearly 15 years later, intelligence US located the man believed to be behind the September 11 Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, who was found living in a secure compound just within the city of Abbottabad, Pakistan. President Barack Obama turned down a drone strike, wishing for a definite proof of his death and not just a hole in the ground. In 2014, President Barack Obama claimed the end of war in Afghanistan. Thanks for watching, and soon we will be back again with another amazing video of Russia-Ukraine war.